All right, everything's running. So you can start any time if you want.
Seven being a selectman.
Probably.
All right, let's get to this. Today is December 15th, 2021. The time is 5:02. Let this meeting of the Tilton Mansfield Fire and EMS Budget Committee come to order. And we're out. Right on cue.
Hey, Eric.
All right. Some story. Did you say no, we don't have minutes?
I need to go beside Catherine and Jason. Pardon?
We don't have minutes?
You do have minutes, they were emailed out a while ago.
Oh,
I didn't think to print them and bring them.
okay. We'll get it next.
All right.
Call Kevin.
Oh, no,
Would you prefer that I print and bring?
I read it.
You did?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to step into the room? Come join us.
All right. Does anybody object if we start going
What do
through
you
the
want them to say?
budget?
We're sitting in town hall,
Why?
waiting for you.
Up to page 5.
Yes.
Is there anything anyone wants to discuss
I wouldn't do that.
on the previous page? You want to go back to, or you all set?
I think we're all set.
Okay.
What previous page for what?
Budget, we're going to start where we left off at the top of page 5.
You're still building maintenance?
Yellow.
Yes.
Oh, the big yellow block.
So
Yes,
just in case
so that we
we want to
can
go
start.
back
There's
and
nothing in that yellow block.
That's right.
I'll make a motion to bring custodial supplies to the table for discussion. That's 430.03 through 430.07.
I'll second it.
Okay, this is for custodial supplies, which is paper towels.
we got a motion on the table.
Oh, I
so,
thought, oh, that's all right.
We haven't been motioning these to discuss,
All right.
only to approve, but you've made the motion, it's been seconded. And we can do this every time if you want. It's up to you, but I don't think it's necessary. So let's call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion on the table?
Aye.
Aye.
What was the motion?
To discuss.
it? Oh, okay.
Anybody object? Abstain? All right.
Okay, these lines are for custodial services, which would be buying paper towels, cleaning supplies, and for the dumpster service. The dumpster services contract price. Custodial supplies are what they are.
Are there dumpsters at both facilities?
No, just the Center Street station. Any of the trash at the Park Street station we drag back to the Center Street station.
So sharp downturn in spending this year.
Well, this is only filled out to the end of last month, so
Oh, all right. We're not up to date.
No.
Through November?
through November.
All right, so we're gonna spend $2,000 in 2 months?
Probably not 2 months. But our,
You gotta go.
the person that we have that's in charge of all that stuff has been out of work, and so it hasn't been getting done.
Oh.
So we have to make sure that it's completed, but you can see where our expenses are the previous years. I don't expect that to change.
I'll move to approve total custodial supplies for 5720.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? I should say more discussion. All right, we have a motion on the table. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
So 2, Mary? 4 yea, passes. Okay. Groundskeeping. Writing more. That's not much, but I gotta ask, writing more, $150, that's a pretty cheap writing more.
That's the maintenance on it, so that would be the tune-up that we do on it, new blades every once in a while, belts, things like that.
Who actually runs them all?
We do.
So don't you have a, I mean, it's kind of nice it's out there, but isn't it just kind of a general repair and maintenance line?
It was kind of like in there when I arrived, so I never took it out.
Okay. Maybe you should put writing more, maintenance. All right, anybody have any questions about,
Well, the line for 350 hasn't been spent in 3 years.
Yeah, that's for fertilizer and weed killer, things like that around the station. We just haven't done it.
so do you hire somebody to do the fertilizer?
No, we do all that ourselves.
Who's
The
licensed?
only things we hire for are like if we need to have pest control type folks come in.
So you have somebody licensed to spread that fertilizer?
You know, we just go down to Home Depot or Agway and buy fertilizer and spray it.
But not in the last 3 years.
You do know you're required to have a license.
Well, they drive to Home Depot, so they must have a driver's license.
Yeah. All their hazmat certifications.
All right.
You know how to treat if somebody
I
eats
still don't
it.
understand why we keep requesting it if we're not doing it.
Deputy Chief Robinson requested this amount so that he really has an eye on trying to keep Park Street green and beautiful. Most of the time, he just donates the materials to do this, like the bark mulch and all that kind of stuff. But it's in the line item because of his request, and then he goes and usually buys it all himself anyway.
There's no green on Center Street, right? There's kind
There
of
is
dirt
no-
in the back.
Yeah,
Weeds.
it's, yeah. Center Street is asphalt mostly.
So what'd you say? 350 cut, weed? Anybody?
Okay, so I'll move, we're gonna go one at a time. We're gonna do total groundskeeping.
You can.
I'll move to approve total groundskeeping for $500.
Is there a second? I don't hear one, okay, so, discussion. Let's hear it.
I can't see putting $350 in something that somebody's donating and they were, just to have $350 in the budget. I mean, if you want to keep that line open, I think we could change the amount. I don't know how anybody else feels, but.
On the flip side of that, maybe the person that donates sees that, well, they have it in there and I'll just keep doing it. But maybe they see, well, if they see a cut, he might assume, or that person might assume that they're just assuming that I'm donating and this year I'm gonna submit the receipts.
So, out of the totality of this budget, you can bet there's $350 somewhere, and much more, that would be available. But I mean, you can't expect a donation, but it's nice that it happens.
So what do we want to do with this?
Well, if there's, oh, okay, I almost misspoke.
Leave $1 in each line for now. But, I know I missed some stuff, I haven't seen. seen any much in the saving world, so.
Have you, excuse me, have you noticed how we blow through lines with many, many, many thousands of dollars in them? And we sit here at a table of 7 or whatever it is of us, $350,
Fight over it.
and we can't do it.
I'm not fighting, I
I know,
just.
I can't be
You
the
can't
only one that
decide.
thinks that's the most
I was just
ridiculous
thinking.
thing.
We spend a lot of time on salary and ours is, we cut that.
I mean,
So,
Who cut it?
it's just,
We did.
We didn't cut
Yeah.
nothing.
okay, we have got, 1,493,619. The commissioners have 1,603,619.
Yeah, because we left out the 110 for the call salaries.
Yeah, you can,
But
We
this
didn't cut
budget,
haven't gotten there
our
yet.
budget pretty much mirrors the commission's budget,
We
so.
gave it a 10% increase on the starting line in less time than we spent on these $350.
Okay, so let's go back to this. A buck saved is a buck saved. You wanna zero this line out, leave a buck in?
I'll leave $1 in.
It's not a good idea to zero,
I'd
because
say
then
at
it will go
least leave
away.
$1 in it.
Okay? And just one or both? $1 for groundskeeping and $1 for riding mower?
No, because they spend money on for the riding mower.
Okay,
That's not something they haven't done anything with.
so $1 for groundskeeping and $150 for riding mower. Is that what you're saying? Anybody? I just want to move on.
Put $1 in each one.
Somebody make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve line 430.04 groundskeeping with $1 in the line, and line 660.11 riding mower for $150.
I'll second that.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
All right, 3 to 3. Somebody else?
Keep going. I don't think, someone has to contribute mulch to the organization.
Does the organization need mulch?
What's that?
Does the organization need mulch?
Sure.
I don't know how much lawn you want to fertilize. If
Everybody
watering it's
loves-
going to be a problem. Can't even, right? We're having some water problems.
I also agree with Kevin in this kind of budget. There's $500 in there to do this. You're definitely gonna have $500 in your repair lines over here to repair the riding mower and $36. Well, if you go back to 2019, $62 you spent. That's definitely in the budget without us adding more.
I
So,
mean, we just left it in there with the custodial supplies because we just, as a committee, approved an amount that was higher than
there you go.
the 3-year average for custodial supplies, so we're already
It's there.
spilling money on the ground.
Anybody? Motion?
Make a motion, leave $1 in groundskeeping and $1 in riding mower.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Any more discussion? All right, so this motion on the table for $1 in groundskeeping, $1 in riding mower, for a total of $2 for total groundskeeping. All those in favor of the motion, do signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, wow.
Let's move on.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
do this, okay?
I'll change my vote. Okay, we gotta get past this.
You can't change your vote, the vote's been taken.
Okay.
Motion for reconsideration.
You can make a motion to reconsider.
Just shoot me right now, would you please?
I'm a zero kind of person. So
We know,
They're right there.
oh, and broke the mallet. We need a new mallet.
What do you wanna do? We can come back to it, or
Move on to something else.
move on?
All right, I'm gonna highlight it.
All right.
Nope. I'm gonna fill it.
What is this? I think it's
All right, so next one is shed communications tower and shed road tower monitoring. You appropriated 996 last year and used none of it.
It's a contract that hasn't, we haven't gotten the bill yet for it.
Excuse me?
It's a contract, bid price, where a company monitors all the equipment and the door opening and closing, monitors whether the generator is running, all that kind of stuff.
And did you say you haven't gotten a bill
We have
for
not
it?
received the bill
Not
for it yet.
this year?
That's correct. I have to send an email to him and say, hey, what the heck?
Did it, I mean, do we know that it's been being monitored?
Oh, yes, because every time that door opens up there, he sends me a text. Are you there?
Oh, so somebody's actually on the
Yeah,
ball
they,
about
like,
it.
he monitors when, like the propane runs out for the generator, I get a text, the propane's out in the generator, you go fill the bottles.
And that's not something that you can have on your own? I mean,
There's a software package
Right.
in there that sends a signal somewhere to some guy.
but that signal can't
It
come to the
doesn't come to
station?
me, I know that much.
And it couldn't?
I don't know is the answer, I don't know.
I just-
They also monitor the health of the radio systems in there, and if they need be, they can make adjustments.
That's a climate control building, right?
Yes. Yes.
Why don't we pay anything for Park Street?
Because the tower's not built yet.
The tower isn't built yet.
Right. It's been
Why is
approved,
it
the
in
building
this budget?
permit's pulled, some of the steel's been dropped off, they just haven't finished doing, dug the hole yet.
I figured it was something on top of the building.
No,
So why is it in this budget?
because as the building permit's already been issued, it's gonna be there before the end of next year, and we're gonna have expenses there.
Okay.
Is that monitoring the same idea as Shed Road?
Yes.
Would that monitoring be necessary, or will it be necessary after we build at Park Street? There'll be somebody,
Yes, because of the technical nature of the equipment in there, it's not something that, even somebody like me who's very familiar with the equipment can run the software to fix it when things go wrong.
You think I'm gonna get a 996 bill this year?
I'm gonna call him and make sure, well, I'm gonna ask him, is he gonna send us a bill, because if he doesn't send it by the end of the month, he's not gonna get paid for this year.
He should monitor that.
right, 'cause the money will lapse, right?
That's
Yep.
right. Unless we have a bill.
Uh-huh.
Well, if you have a contract to pay it, it's an obligation, the commissioners can vote to encumber the money from this year's budget, so it doesn't have to be raised and appropriated again.
They're not meeting again, are they meeting again?
No.
So they'd have to meet just for that?
It's not much, but it'll come out of this budget, not 2021's. All right, so
What
we
is, what is the 50 for?
That's for the propane, like when the bottles, it's 2 30-pound bottles that run a DC generator that keeps the batteries charged that run the system. And when those bottles go empty, which is about once a year, sometimes twice a year, I have to go, I get them and I bring them down, and get them filled, bring them back, and then reinstall them.
What do you want to do with that, people?
I move to accept the 1,046 for total tower expenses.
Second.
Any more discussion? Motion on the table is for $1,046 for total Shed Road Communication Tower. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstains? Woo-hoo! Park Street. About the buck? Anybody?
Move to approve
Second.
Approve what, is $0.
$2.
$2.
Cut it.
Okay, motion on the table is $2 for total Park Street Communication Tower. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. All right, so we don't have the total repairs. For total government buildings, insurance,
Those are the not to exceed numbers,
those are what?
the not to exceed numbers that we've received from Primex.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept, shall we do the total line?
You can do the total insurance if you want.
Yeah, the total property and liability insurance for $31,178.
What about workers' comp?
Workers' comp.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. I
You
thought
need to
that-
do the
oh,
74255,
Okay,
that's total insurance.
okay, then I'll make a motion to accept the workman's comp, $43,077.
Second.
All right, so you're doing line 260.
Yes.
All right, motion on the table is for workman's compensation of $43,077. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right.
Now I'll make a motion to accept $31,178 for total property and liability insurance.
Second.
All right, motion on the table is for total property and liability insurance of $31,178. Any more discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, total insurance. Done.
Call salaries and wages is next.
Say again?
Call salaries and wages.
Yeah.
Did you do 48001?
That was included in the total property and liability.
All right. Salary and wages.
Call salaries.
Yeah, I see it. Do you want any more conversation on salaries and wages?
so, I apologize for missing the discussion of the bigger numbers. So what was decided upon in terms of the starting rates and all that?
I was going to my notes.
Basically, the commissioners decided to go with the average starting pay of the fire departments in the area, and that sets the rate for everything else.
Which is what the commissioners did?
Yes,
Okay.
1960,
$19.60.
Yes.
1950.
Did we make a determination on that?
Say that again?
Did we vote on that?
Yes, you
Yes,
did.
we did.
Somehow call salaries and wages got missed.
It doesn't mean you can't
So,
bring it up again.
when we voted on the wages, was it 1,228,000 or was it 1,191,000?
$1,191,000.
What? Oh,
We voted with the commissioners, not the
Yes.
chief's budget.
that is correct.
All right? Is everybody everybody good with how that's set? We move to call salaries and wages?
What are the wages for call people?
So, it depends, yeah, they start off at probationary period, it's $13 an hour. Then, once they're off probation and they start achieving certifications, it goes up.
So
Budget narrative, there we go.
a probationary firefighter or EMT gets $13 an hour. A firefighter level 1 or EMT gets 16. And then if they're both a firefighter and an EMT, they get an additional $1. And then they just keep accumulating from there. $1 here, $1 there, for different certs. A lieutenant gets an additional $3 on top of everything else. And then, of course, you've got the deputy chief and his annual stipend.
Is that 3,000,
It's $3,600 is his annual stipend,
3,600 now?
yes.
And that's in the call,
And that's in the call.
so was there a wage study done for call people as well, or just the career people?
No, it's done for call people as well.
And did that study not indicate that these rates should be increased?
It didn't, because we put them, I put an increase in there compared to what they were last year.
Yes.
So this is increased from last year?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
$10,000 approximately.
Last year probationary firefighters got $12 an hour. Firefighter 1 or EMT got $15.50, and again, it was up $1
Mhm.
for different things from there. So it was increased.
So the basic was 12 to 13.
Right.
Calculator for a second.
It's a 9%, 9.2% raise.
I hate that I'm so unpredictable.
It's a calculator.
You're not by yourself. You vote on it.
Anybody have a suggestion for this line?
Well, I didn't support the increase for the bigger number, but in all fairness, I wouldn't omit the call from the same opportunity. So as a matter of consistency, I would move to approve call salaries and wages in the amount of $110,000.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? Motion on the table is for $110,000 for call salaries and wages. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Abstention? Page 6. Oh, I don't know, school training fees. That's quite a bit of money if you look at the actuals. Are we expecting something new?
So, no, prohibited a lot of the outside training this year because we had two extraordinary expenses starting fairly on in the year, with the boiler and the center fire station going out that was not budgeted for, and then, of course, our mounting legal expenses with the water district, which was not budgeted for.
So the boiler could have been paid for with your contingency
Contingency
fund,
fund.
remember?
But we didn't have
Yes.
Touch the contingency fund until you spend all your operating budget.
But we didn't have a contingency fund, because I got
They
voted.
don't need to have a
Oh, was that the year
contingency fund, it
before?
was an emergency.
Oh, okay.
They could have petitioned the Department of Revenue Administration.
But you still can't do that until December.
No, you do it sometime in November,
Yes.
in anticipation.
So how'd you pay for it?
We paid for it
Boil it,
out of the operating budget and just unrestricted other expenses to compensate for it.
I probably asked this last year, Chief, is the 21, or the 23,000, is that just straight tuition, or is there overtime money for them to go to this training?
No, it's tuition, materials, it's not,
There's no pay in there?
there's no pay.
No.
Okay.
It's pay for instructors, things like that.
So I understand the boiler issue, sort of, from last 2021, but what about 2020, used 4,289,
COVID,
2019, 14,093.
so we had
And
COVID
that's-
in 2020, which stopped everything. All the outside training was restricted
Right.
during, when everything was locked down and.
But you didn't have COVID in 2019.
No, 2019, that was another area where I thought we were gonna hit limits within our spending because of certain expenses. With
Yes,
over
maintenance.
expenditures on the apparatus and equipment fund.
No, no.
Not the apparatus and equipment fund, apparatus repairs and maintenance. We had extreme over expenditure in that, and so I had to compensate for that and restrict some of the training. That's kind of the area that first gets hit when I have to find an area to cut due to unanticipated expenses or unbudgeted for expenses that still have to be done. That was unique.
Yeah, steel toe.
Oh, okay.
So 23,000 is like a normal year, or 21?
It's, yeah, so I can tell you what it's different conferences that we go to. It's seminars, it's
There's some recertifications in there.
certifications, it's the Primex conferences, it's the Certified Public Manager Program that we have a couple guys in, it's Municipal Association classes, it's the Fire Chiefs Conference, it's the paramedic recertifications, it's the EMT recertifications, advanced EMT recertifications, it's the pay for outside instructors, tuitions, and materials.
What makes up the difference between the chiefs and the commissioners? There must be something that
Yeah,
commissioners want to do that.
there was an addition error in my thing when I submitted it that we found during the discussions with the commissioners.
I thought there were some extra classes, okay.
The spreadsheet had an error in it, in the formula, that one of the commissioners caught for me.
So listening to what you're saying, and for me, it doesn't sound like there's much importance put on the schooling and training if that's the line that's sacrificed.
That's the go-to chop, yeah.
Yeah, the
Well,
chop when there's an emergency.
Where else can I chop? And
Well,
I
like
have-
I said, the furnace
But that's,
definitely should have been paid out of the excess monies, that accumulate by going the DRA route.
That's outside,
And that's the
that's
commissioners.
day-to-day operation, that's outside of the purview of the budget committee.
But,
So the commissioners, and I agree with them, when we have a voted budget, I do everything I can to live within that voted budget, no matter what happens during the year. And this is one of the things that gets sacrificed. It's practically the first thing that gets sacrificed.
You have to make choices.
Yeah, and that's not up to us to tell you what choices to make. in my opinion.
Not at all, it's
Yeah,
well beyond the purview of the budget.
yeah.
You take the money, approve the money, a different number of what, how it's used is.
Speaking for myself, I'd rather have our officers well-trained.
I'm with you on
I
this.
think we all would.
I'll move to accept the 23,000.
I'll second that.
All right, there's a motion on the table for 23,000 for school training and fees. Is that what I heard? All those, any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Abstain? One opposition. Abstention. Okay, telephone.
How many cell phones do we have?
3 cell phones.
3 cell phones?
Yes. 1 for each ambulance and the shipment man. The deputy and myself receive a stipend. We use our personal cell phones.
Is that in a different line?
No, it's in this line.
It's in the cell phone line still?
Yes.
Under my guys,
And, well, we have,
under that, I guess.
yes, so there are other devices that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 MiFi devices, which create
Hotspot.
a hotspot, put 1 for each ambulance and 1 for each engine. And then we have the iPads on the deputy's iPad, when he's out doing inspections, has a cellular connection, as well as the iPads that we use for patient care reports in the ambulance. So there's a lot of cellular.
So the inspection stuff isn't paid out of the inspection money or
I got listed. We bought his iPad out of the inspection money,
Gotcha,
out of his budget,
Yep.
but the cellular fee,
right.
we didn't take out of it.
I'll move to accept 8624 total telephone.
Second.
Motion on the table for 8,624 for total telephone. Any more discussion?
Hey, what's, internet, is it?
That's
Atlantic
Atlantic
Broadband.
Broadband.
Oh, it's $200 a month? More than $200 a month.
Yeah.
200 bucks a month.
Pricey.
Those are the MiFis, right?
The MiFi's are through AT&T.
Do they have like an air card or something?
Yes, exactly.
So this is,
This is for the internet for the fire stations, the 2 fire stations.
Oh, okay.
Is it-
Gotcha.
So that computers.
is it an upper tier or something? I mean,
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 100 meg, but it's not.
I was gonna say, it's not.
It's not. It's erratic.
That's almost funny.
At 3 in the morning it might be, but.
They call it 100?
It's-
Speeds
it's-
of up to.
Yeah.
It never gets there.
Yeah.
No.
So one of the things I'm exploring right now is a better internet, better way of getting internet to the fire station. I've researched a couple different fiber options and things like that. The consultant said, oh, we should go with Comcast. Well, I said, we don't have Comcast here. But First Light came in at like $234 a month for a true 100 meg up and down, and much more reliable and consistent service. But I just got that information in, so I didn't have a chance to talk to the commissioners about it and request a change. But that would be better. But the problem is with Atlantic Broadband, when it gets slow or goes down, which happens, we're out of business. Because all of everything that we do is in the cloud. We don't, we made the choice a few years back to not have any servers on site, so we're not responsible for maintaining that data. All the data is gone and away, and maintained at multiple sites, so multiple data service centers, so that if there's a catastrophe at one place, we still have all our data.
Wow.
So
So it was $230 a month for,
$234 a month instead of $199 a month, whatever this is.
Any more discussion?
it's- more discussion, yeah, I'm gonna ask you all to vote no, so we can do the right thing and bring them technology that they really ought to have.
And we've been asked to have a motion withdrawn.
Or you can vote no, see what happens, if you don't like what happens, you can reconsider. Who did the second? That would have to be Sean as well,
I did.
whatever. However you wanna go, I don't care,
You have another proposal.
You wanna go up another $30 a month or something?
So I guess.
It'd be $2,808.
2808.
Yeah, for that line, if you go with the first line,
First light.
first light, sorry.
That doesn't only work in the morning though, does it? It's called first light.
No.
It only gives service to the person that has their light on first.
Do you want to withdraw the motion?
Sure, which one?
Jane withdraw your
Yes, I
second?
withdraw the second.
All right, I'll record show the motion is off the table. Kevin, do you have a new motion for us?
I will, in about 4 seconds.
Yeah.
9092 is the total for that line,
What was it?
9092.
What didn't we already do?
It was a bottom line.
We did the motion was for the bottom line. So
The one was for 86, the motion was for 8624?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you told me once, but I'll listen this time. What's the new number?
What was the monthly charge?
9092.
2808 would be the internet.
All right, so
2808.
9092,
I'm sorry?
9092,
What's the internet charge again, Kevin?
2808, I'm not Kevin, sorry.
Oh,
Now,
So,
Kathy, Kevin.
so the minutes reflect what you're trying to do. Would you like to make a statement? And we'll make sure that it's in the minutes.
His previous statement should be in the minutes. He wants to, I guess the
so
amount.
I'm gonna try this way. I'm gonna move to set line 341.1, 342.2, and 341.5, the amount of $9,092.
Second.
Okay? Motion on the table, all those in favor of the motion,
Wait,
please.
I just have a quick question, because the way I'm hearing that,
Discussion.
the way I'm hearing that, and no offense, I just want clarification, but that you're bumping each line to $9,000. So it would actually be 27,000. That way I'm hearing it. So someone going back, am I,
It's not each line, it's a total of those
The
lines.
total telephone.
Total telephone.
okay. I didn't hear the total
So
telephone part.
you're not gonna go the full amount of the 9092?
That's what his bottom line
That's
was.
what it looks like.
Okay.
But just the
Just
way it worded
clarify.
to me, the way it worded to me, it sounded like, if someone's gonna go back, it sounded like he was increasing each line to $9,000,
No.
The
$92.
total of the three.
No.
As it's shown on our budget sheet right now, it's at 8624. Now here again, we can't dictate how the money is spent. That falls at the feet of the commissioners. And they could decide to go with First Light,
Well, they could spend the
whether
money on
money
training,
was there or not.
or spending on the riding
Right.
lawnmower, or
This-
fertilizer.
this gives them the opportunity, and I would hope
Or
that,
friggin' bark mulch.
and I would hope that that is what would be done.
Can we get that in the minutes, just so people know why?
Much discussion ensued.
Yes.
That's how they read
Not
that.
what, not what Jason said, it's what Kevin said.
Yeah. All right, so the motion on the table is $9,092 for total telephone. Phew. Any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
All in less time than $350 for fertilizer.
Close.
Well, Jason's gonna bring that up though, this,
Information technology.
What is sign now?
That is where you can send stuff out
Digital
and,
signature.
and get signatures back,
Oh, electronic thing.
electronic signatures.
And you have Adobe Pro too, doesn't that allow the same thing?
No,
It doesn't?
no.
There was an Adobe that did.
I thought I had
The
one.
state
once
just went
that did.
through all that.
Once upon a time it did, but no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Everybody has to have the same program now in order to be able to do it through Adobe.
Wow. Computer
They get you
hardware
coming and
jumped
going.
up.
Where's that? I missed it.
We need a new switch and a new firewall as well as 2 new desktops.
Oh.
That's why.
And all that is $7,000?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to accept the total information technology, $30,128.
A second.
Discussion.
So what are we getting for a website for $75? I can tell you that we spend a lot more than that on a website in the town of Northfield. So it's a lot.
It's the hosting, and it also covers what's on Amazon Web. We're slowly moving over to YouTube for all of our meetings, but there are still some on Amazon Web, so that's covered in there. It's like 26 cents a month. And
If someone goes back and watches it,
It's monetized?
it's monetized.
It is.
Well, no, it's you pay for the data, so if someone goes back and watches a video from, I don't know, 2008, and I have no idea if that's how far back they go, it's the data usage that you get hit for. And don't they mail the bill?
Yes.
they email it now.
Oh, they
They
email
email
it.
it.
So it actually costs them more to mail just the
I was gonna
bills.
say it.
So,
And the balance is for our website posting. Tim Pearson is our host, his company, and that's all he charges us, is $75.
Bargain and a half right there.
speaking of bargains, Firehouse software, that's the sharp decline. Is it on sale?
We
that-
don't, we switched from Firehouse software to Image Trend.
Oh. So it was like a phasing over,
So,
so.
but wait, hold up.
Firehouse is going away, it's no
Oh.
more.
It's, yeah,
Oh,
the ceasing the decline.
so, okay, so they're out because they're out, not because we went somewhere else.
Right.
Okay.
They're out, because a lot of
Seems
people
like-
went somewhere else.
It's like we spent a lot of money on Firehouse when it first came.
I know, but it's been purchased several times over the years, and the last time it was purchased by ESO, and we received notification that it's going away at the end of '22, gone,
Really,
yes,
Yeah.
non-existent.
non-existent,
And, then
Wow.
ESO's getting bought too, so.
yes.
It's the 3G of Firehouse software. No longer supported.
Yes, that is correct.
That's a very good analogy.
All right, so we have a motion on the table for $30,128 for total information technology. Any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Right.
Opposed?
Nay.
Abstentions? I got one nay. Motion passes. Medical services.
We're expecting 5 new employees.
It's quite possible, we even have our call company hires go through the physical process. And we've been receiving, we've got 3 in the process
Three
now.
applications in the process,
Do we actually have 33 people on payroll?
yeah. Well, you have, yes, you have 19 career personnel,
Plus,
plus the rest are called personnel.
Does this take place every year?
Yes.
Is it a requirement?
It's an NFPA regulation.
isn't it required now, Chief, with the
The
cancer?
career guys, anybody that does structural firefighting now.
Because of the blood work, right, with cancers and all that
Yes,
stuff.
all that stuff.
Oh, well, that's a good thing.
Yes, all the
It is a good
chemicals and
thing.
everything, all that exposure.
That's a good thing. Unless they're gonna use them as guinea pigs.
No.
I mean, you know,
So it tests the physical exam is composed of testing your cardiac, you do EKG, they test your eyesight. Every year they test you to see if you're colorblind. Colorblind is something that's genetic. Either you are or you aren't, but you still get tested every year, they should say, because, anyways, they test you for that. They test your vision, they test your blood, they test your urine, they test your hearing.
Huh?
They-
If somebody was going to do that.
Well, I'm sorry, I set you up on that one.
They test your flexibility, they test your coordination, they test your peripheral vision to see if you have any losses in that. It's quite an expensive
So
test.
do your drivers, operators also get a DOT visit?
No, if they do, they can, but they pay that on their own,
The CDL.
the CDL pilot.
They have to have a CDL, right?
We require CDL, the state does not require
Right.
CDL.
So if you require it, why do you not pay for that test? They have to have medical card?
No,
No.
but if they want a medical card, they pay for it.
We just require it there.
Yeah, state, same thing with the state, you're gonna have to get it.
If they're working part-time driving a truck that requires a CDL license, then they have to have a health card, and that would be up to
Right.
them.
anybody?
I'll move to accept the 16,860 medical service total.
Second.
That was 16,860.
Right.
All right, any more discussion? Motion on the table is
It's just,
16.
well, the question is, never really used that to that level over the last
That's
3
what I was
years.
trying to see.
So the reason it's more than it has been, okay, so in 2020,
Yeah, I get 2020, that doesn't,
they stopped, they wouldn't do them,
yeah, right.
because they didn't have the proper facilities to handle negative pressure wounds and stuff like that.
But is the requirement everybody every year, or is it everybody, like a certain number?
Everybody every year.
Oh, okay. Wasn't like you said, it's a third, every, okay, it's not a 3-year cycle or a 2-year cycle, it's everybody, okay.
Any more discussion?
So, yeah, I'm good, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. All right, all those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, other professional services, you've got a buck in that line, what is that?
To keep it open.
What's the anticipation, is it just in case? I hate just in case lines, that's just me, I just hate them.
That's what,
I don't like.
what is it? What would be? what
So
would
if
be
you were
your
to hire a
example?
consultant for something, if you needed to hire a consultant for something that would be in that line
So
item.
how would you
So
pay that consultant only $1?
we'd have to, I'd have to talk it over with the commissioners.
I'm not trying to,
we're gonna go with that.
We were gonna take it out
When they
of,
did the wage
On the
study,
legal line.
Kevin, remember the wage study through LGC?
Oh, yeah.
That was paid out of that line.
And so if it's only, all these purposes, that all it keeps the line available. So if you need to use it, you'll put money in it from somewhere else so you can spend it.
Or in a year where
You
you plan
actually
to
don't
do
put
something.
money into it.
No,
You
it's
just
an
spend it
accounting.
from somewhere else.
The accounting
You
process.
show it
Right.
as an expense in that.
Yeah, I mean, only on this legal expenses, but I guess that would be a stretch for a consultant, wouldn't it?
Yes,
I don't see
More
it.
professional.
there is legal expenses,
Exactly.
and they were,
I don't see another line that, okay,
I'm going to accept $1 in the other professional services.
second.
any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And passes. Background checks.
That's for new employees.
that is correct.
Yes.
It's $15 for their certified motor vehicle record, as well as, and $50 for their criminal background.
Yeah, $65 total, for both, right?
Yes,
So for $520, how many
that's
new,
8.
we're gonna have 8 new employees?
You never know.
Well, some of them don't make it to the physical part. After we run a background check.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it always seems backwards to me that you gotta do the background for you till if they pass, I mean, they shouldn't be allowed around.
It's cheaper to do background than physical.
It's cheaper to do the background
Cheaper to do physical, oh, yeah, the background.
first than to do a physical first. Physicals.
Oh, you're talking about medical physical?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant, I was talking
No.
physical agility.
No, medical physical.
Ah, yeah. When was the last time? So the money in 21, was that for the 4 new people?
Part of it.
We've had the,
We've had to replace a couple of the new people.
Oh, really?
From people leaving and stuff,
The
yeah. So the
grant-
4 original
Mhm.
Safer employees, there's only 2 of those original Safer employees left.
Uh-huh. Greener pastures?
Full-time, guaranteed.
Huh? That's an intention to get it for a young guy.
I'm going to accept the $520 in background checks.
Second.
Are you 540 or 520?
$520.
I'm showing 520.
There's a little echo over here, might be me. Any more discussion on background checks? All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, printing. That's just so random. Don't you have a, you must have an office section.
Is this ballots and stuff?
No, ballots and stuff fall under
Elections?
elections. This is for letterhead, envelopes, forms that the guys use on truck checks.
So is this stuff we buy that's printed?
Yes, this is stuff
So,
that is printed.
Like the forms and things like that would get printed at, is it the prison that prints them?
Some are
or-
printed at the prison and some aren't able to be printed there.
We're not able to print them ourselves.
No, and, you know, that also includes the deputies' forms for inspections. Because there are, you know, forms that have to be a certain way and the prison can't always do.
duplicate.
Yeah,
Mhm.
carbonless duplicate stuff.
Yeah, the NCR forms.
I'm going to accept.
If you don't use the
duplicates?
prison, who's the other one you use? Do you use the Bureau of Graphic Services through the state?
The what?
The Bureau of Graphic
No.
Services, BGS.
No.
Yeah, they're under my boss. It's,
Okay.
look at, yeah, Department of Administrative Services, there is a Bureau of Graphic Services, and they have quite a print shop.
Okay,
Yeah, it's, if nothing else, they probably do more on paper than the prison does.
nice.
Yeah,
Good to know, I'll have
Yeah.
to check them out.
Bureau of Graphic
Because we get our,
Services.
you know, envelopes for mailing.
yeah, they
things
do all
out.
the stuff for the legislature and a lot of state agencies.
Commissioner Rowlinghouse is in charge of all that?
It's one of Charlie's, yeah. My director, Gary, reports to Charlie, and graphic is under Gary, so it's one of the business units in purchasing, and, yeah, there's one for fleet management, procurement card, merchant card, yeah, he's got like 11 different, and mine's one of those. But, yeah, that print shop's in town, it's like,
Bureau of Graphic Services print shop?
yep,
Okay.
yeah, they're right on Store Street. Well, it's not officially, it's that side street intersection.
Got it written down now, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll move to accept $500 for purchase.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, dues and subscriptions.
The total's on page, the top of page 7.
Thank you. You have two besides fire chiefs, I'm assuming that including the deputies?
That's correct.
But isn't there two deputy chiefs?
Deputy Robinson does not want to go into it.
Say that again?
Deputy Robinson, he said he's all set.
For both, huh?
Make a motion to accept, from, what is it, dues and, is that
Dues and subscriptions.
dues and subscriptions, for $4,233.
Second.
All right, motion on the table, total dues and subscriptions, $4,233. Any more discussion?
How about just some instead of any more?
So, Fire Department Safety Officer Association, you just add a person because it doubled? The two of you now?
Your Deputy Jubert is going to go through that training. Yes.
Yeah.
New Hampshire Association of Fire Chiefs and International Association of Fire Chiefs.
And the $350 that was appropriated for Chief Fire Officer didn't get expended.
That's true. Deputy Jubert was in the process of doing that, but he hasn't completed the application.
And the next one down, the 99 to 198, that went from 1 to 2. Is that what that is, those two that are tied together?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Any more discussion?
No.
Okay, let's see, motion on the table is for total dues and subscriptions, $4,233. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yay.
And abstentions. All right. On to supplies. Road of destruction.
The things that you have printed that you buy and they physically show up all printed, is that not office supply? Envelopes or office supply?
It's, I would say so, yes, but it's always been separated. Since before me.
Well, obviously you don't destroy data every year.
You-
2021 didn't, 2019 didn't.
Well, it's an even numbered year, so it's time, every other.
Mhm.
Well, if I plan it right, we can get more done.
Is it flat cost no matter what?
No, they charge, per box or whatever.
Or they come with a truck?
They come with a truck.
Camper.
Is it on-site
Fire
storage or they
department.
take it?
They have been taking it outside.
Yeah,
They've been
test
having it
burn.
go. And hopefully that will be ending. We're trying to get paperless, but I don't know if that's ever gonna happen.
Fire extinguisher, more fertilizer around.
So if we spend 7 or 8 minutes on 350 for fertilizer, we have a good half hour on this one.
Should be milk it pretty good. Right?
Where'd we get the postage?
Make a motion to approve total office supplies, $3,150.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Yeah, I'm a nay.
There are 2 opposed. Okay. No abstentions? Motion passes. All right, postage. $500.
I'll move to accept $500 for postage.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, equipment maintenance and repairs. Good Lord.
I anticipated equipment repair of 4,000. Only spent 300.
That's
No.
because it's spread out over all the different lines.
Okay, so the 4304, for example,
Right.
2021 appropriated 7335, actual 4304.
Yes.
Yes,
So that,
that's, and it was, as it's expended, it's charged off to what it was actually expended on.
mhm.
I like the vehicle repairs.
The 1570 are known costs for calibration gas and sensors, so that's why that number's actually there. I know that's where we're gonna be this year. And then the $4,000, what the commissioners approved is for whatever else that's gonna break, a new repair that is unpredicted. It's gonna happen, just don't know how, when or what.
This isn't related to vehicles.
No,
This is where the riding lawnmower comes in.
Yeah. So last year you had very specific repairs.
I budgeted very specifically, but it turns out that it really, I'm just taking an average, best guess estimate. So I don't know if the chainsaw is gonna break a chain or not. But I know stuff will break, and I know we'll spend money on it, so I try to do an average over the previous years of what we're spending on that line, and that's what I come up with.
I'll move to accept 5570 total equipment maintenance and repair.
I'll second.
Motion on the table, $5,570 for total equipment maintenance and repair. Any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Abstained? Motion carries. Page 8. Service testing. Wow.
These are actual known costs for what's gonna cost for servicing all of this equipment.
Say again?
These are the actual known costs.
Are the ventilators that we're hoping to get require service?
SCBA, oh, yes, oh, the ventilators, yes, but that'll be
Ones
covered under a different contract. We won't have to have them service the first year, it'll be next year's budget where we have a service for us.
Make a motion to accept $18,898 for total service testing.
Second.
Motion on the table, $18,898 for total service testing. Any more discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Gasoline.
What do we have besides portable equipment that runs on gasoline? Oh, the command cars.
Yes.
The main cars, the pickup truck, the forestry vehicle, utility vehicles.
Riding lawnmower.
I already said that.
So,
Jason's mouth.
so the forestry vehicle
Yep.
is gas powered,
At 450.
but the ambulances
Our diesel.
are diesel.
Correct.
Finance, very interesting.
So, when we
Counterintuitive.
bought the first ambulance, the first F-550, the only option was a diesel. The second one, we stayed with the diesel because we liked the way it performed and handled. If I were to buy a new ambulance in another budget coming up, I would go with the gasoline engine.
That's if you're talking about a Ford, that's 7.3
Yes.
is damn good unit.
Yes. At the time we ordered the previous engine, the previous ambulance, like last year, the 7.3 was barely out a year. And although it had good reports, I don't like to buy anything the first year itself.
They've been very good.
I'll move to accept $56.75 for gasoline.
Second.
Motion on the table, $5,675 for gasoline. Any more discussion?
Yes, fueling, I know we don't pay the taxes. Fuel's quite a bit more expensive now than it
Yes, it
has
is.
been. And there's an increase, but is that increase percentage-wise with where fuel?
I used
Is-
the index on where fuel expenses have increased. I used that. If they don't increase too much more, we should be okay. If they increase a lot more, that line item will be a little short.
And people aren't gonna go to training.
It's a riding lawnmower, Jason.
No, I'm past that. We're going at the training.
We can take the ride and lawnmower
To
too.
training.
Yeah,
Any more discussion?
is that diesel or gas?
All right, hearing none. All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. All right, diesel. That's interesting. Why the difference between the commissioners and the chief? Is there something?
At the time we went over this, our diesel expenditures looked to be less than what they currently actually are now, and we still have another bill to go, another month to go on this budget. And so the commissioners decided to reduce that line item.
What's your diesel number right now?
14,312.
That was,
Is that through when?
Should have been lowest.
I'm going on to check right now,
All right, see what the current one is.
see what the.
Or we.
Apparently the town hall here has a little Broadway.
Apparently.
I call it Atlantic Hill.
That would be a good one. Rubber band.
You know, that was-
Oh, this rubber band projects something faster.
So the total we have, does that reflect November's
It's
bills?
through
That's
November, I don't know if it
Which
reflects
is
November's
probably
bill.
through
That's
the
what
end
I'm
of
checking
October.
right now. Okay. We're at 13,924.37 right now.
And that is, what's the date?
That is through October.
So what's the 14,312 then?
13,000 what?
924.
Yeah, where did the 14,312 come from?
Oh, wait a minute.
On the budget sheet.
What'd I do?
It's through November.
You put
Okay,
November?
so that's weird.
Did you get the bill and not pay it?
If it's,
Oh, it is, yeah. So, yeah, it was 13,924 through October, and I don't know what the other one was,
so
maybe.
that would be
Probably
10,
back
Well, that's
finger.
probably
that'd be
what
10
brought it-
months, right?
That,
Yeah.
yes, that would be 10 months.
Maybe that's what brought it up to 14,000.
So that based on an average of 12 months is 16,708. You might be all right at 18,000 then.
I think through October, we took the 10-month average and then we
Added 2 average months on.
added, well, that, but also a little higher cost for diesel. Because at the time,
I believe diesel is expected to go up 39% over last year.
Yeah, November's bill is not in there, so that would bring it up. That's almost $2,000 for November.
So you look to end this year at about 17,000. Maybe, approximately.
And once you say it's expected to go up 40%,
39%.
39%.
Consumer price index. You go on the website and you drill down, find out how much fuel costs, diesel fuel costs. than what they were expecting it to go up, or it already has gone up over last year.
Huh?
So, Eric, you're comfortable with your 18,000?
Not hearing
Yeah.
that, but, you know, based on the information that we had at the time, yes, I'm
Right.
comfortable. Now, I'm wondering if we should go up. What's the magic number, that's the question.
Nobody knows.
No, nobody knows.
I mean, we had gasoline funds for the long one, so you guys took it out.
Kind of ravaged that, didn't we?
Yeah, so,
That's how we roll.
19.8?
go back to the chief's number.
Well, so,
Maybe we should go with that.
what would,
You wanna do that
what would,
So how I arrived at my 19.8 was I took the average use of diesel fuel over the past 3 years in gallons, converted that to the current price, and then added the 39%, and that's to the price, and that's where I came out to.
If it keeps climbing, 20,000 isn't gonna be enough. But that's if it keeps
I
climbing.
can only base my estimates and my budget requests on the information that I have,
Right,
and my, best estimate as to what we're gonna use. I took an average of what we used over the last
Yeah.
3 years.
that's almost a dark figure.
no matter what number we put there, the vehicle's gonna roll.
That's
Well,
true,
I
yeah.
had someone wanted to reduce my town police gas budget. Feel free, have at it. Cruisers will be on the road, one way or another, they're on the road.
I'll move to accept 19,800 for diesel.
I'll second that.
Motion on the table for $19,800 for diesel. Any more discussion?
Yes, so as we sit here right now, are you good with 19.8?
I don't have any information that changes my mind currently.
Now we have to cut it.
Any more discussion?
It's like a crapshoot.
Mm-hmm. All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Vehicle repairs. Oh, yay.
Okay, so A2 is the GM.
Yes.
Yes.
Engine 2 is the new, oh, speaking of engine 2, is that thing on the road yet?
No.
Okay. I could tell by the look, you didn't have to say it. She giggles, you looked at me like that, yeah, I know it's not. So, the 4370 in vehicle repairs for engine 2,
Yes.
does it have anything to do with this problem right now?
No.
No. No.
So then, what do we get in a brand new engine that costs 4370 that also costs the same on a 2006 or 7 engine 3?
It's gonna need inspection at $70. It's gonna need to be oiled for $400, and 2 preventative maintenances at $1,950 each.
And what we've spent so far is, we bought some deck and card holder for blue card. So we can,
Speaking of deaf, they're talking a shortage of that stuff. Gonna be a urea shortage. I saw it in the paper
I haven't seen that.
yesterday. I'm like, well, what the hell's that?
Great, now the trucks won't be able to try to get us the supplies, that
It's
way,
like-
now there'll be a fuel shortage.
One thing right after another.
You should stockpile some. Direct, could you send me the link to that or whatever?
Yeah, I'll look it up, because it just made me go, if we have a lot of diesel equipment.
Absolutely.
They start hoarding it.
Oh, speaking of diesel, it has nothing to do with anything, but have you heard anything about Park and Go putting in a diesel island?
I heard that, last I talked to them, they were not going to do it.
Oh, they weren't.
I wish they would, but they're not.
Because I had heard that someone was going around asking, they went to our highway and said, buy diesel? Where do you buy diesel? They go to exit 20, they go out, they have a wax can.
Where do you get it now?
Exit 20,
Wherever.
Irving,
Well,
That's the only one.
or
You go to Franklin.
any,
we could.
Yeah.
Or, so it's like, I mean, I thought it was, I got kind of excited, so we're gonna have diesel in town, that'd be awesome.
Oh.
Because there's us, I assume we're gonna go talk to someone in fire, and.
They would have to talk to somebody at fire if they were gonna do that.
Right, but I mean, as a customer,
Yeah.
because that'd be like pretty handy.
Put it where the Chow Pasta is.
That's what I heard they were talking about.
But I don't know how you get a truck, but it'd be very good to have it.
So anyway,
So you've got vehicle repairs, are there 25,000?
Yes.
2021, you had 23,904, but in 21, 20, and 19, you didn't use any of, I mean, you used the fully amount.
No, so,
I love this explanation.
so we budget that amount for unexpected expenses, but when we spend it, it goes against the apparatus that we spent it on.
So you gotta look at the bottom line of it all. It's 51's all that's
I
left.
remember asking that
Yeah,
before.
that's all that's left in the coffee can after they,
Yeah, I don't like that.
So is,
Then, yeah. So,
So for example, last year, we budgeted for engine one, appropriated actual
look at the ambulance one, for example.
ambulance one.
True.
You know, shot, spent 15 grand, almost 16 grand on it.
and engine 3. You know, we budgeted 59, spent 17.
Right.
so A1 is the Ford.
Yes,
What happened to that for 16 grand?
a lot of things.
Want another one?
Well, first of all, it's a Ford.
No, that's the good thing. The GM's been a turd since the day it was delivered.
So there was a problem with the DEF injectors.
That's the one you had to go reset it every month or get it?
Yeah, the GM one. The
Oh.
Ford one was fine, all of a sudden then it started blowing hoses, like rubber hoses, and off the turbo, and then the DEF injectors and the particulate filter had to be replaced.
It wasn't warranty?
No.
It wasn't.
Why wasn't it? 5 years, 75,000 miles, full
Yeah.
warranty, isn't it?
Yeah. So no, that isn't the warranty. The warranty is less than that for us.
Is it?
Yeah,
For emissions?
yes. Because we went through all this.
Wow. We're gonna do the same thing after our Peterbilt cost us 20 grand. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's nothing that they know is happening until it happens.
Oh, wait, boom,
Yeah.
you go down the road, then you're not.
That's exactly what happened.
Those turbo hoses, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Had those let go.
Got us around.
Boom!
so do you know these vehicles well enough to be anticipating major expenses, like one of them may have a bad transmission, but, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I know, for every vehicle, I know what is scheduled, what we're going to plan, what we're going to do, or what we plan to do for that vehicle. And that's what's budgeted against beside each vehicle. And I have the list right here if you want me to explain it all to you, but it's mostly preventive maintenance, tires, things like that. The 25,000 number is because of all the stuff that I don't know what's gonna break, but we still have to repair it.
Well, that's what I mean, though, if you, I guess I'm more used to having a vehicle that we service ourselves, so we know what's the weakness in that vehicle? You know, maybe a weak transmission, maybe a weak engine. So we would anticipate that. I guess you don't have that benefit because you don't do the maintenance. You don't have the ability, right?
Right.
But the known isn't the known manufacturer's schedule maintenance?
Yes.
And the unknown is the rear end, the turbos.
Yeah,
And it's not in a regular maintenance.
that's correct.
Um,
Yeah, don't say bad and pump in the same sentence, okay? I don't like those things.
But at least it's down this year.
Yeah, because we're
They're almost
only maintaining
10,000.
one engine that's ancient and broken all the time instead of two.
So the actual of the is the 2021 appropriated and vehicle repairs other is 23,904.
Yeah,
Why isn't that,
an even number?
yeah, a different number?
I forget how the budget committee came to that number last year. It was a
Oh.
percentage cut of whatever.
We did it too.
You did it,
Yes.
yes.
That it equaled 60,000 even.
We should get a bonus for that, right? Who does that? So of that 23,904, we have a number that was spent of that amount?
Well, it's,
Um,
22.
How would you figure that out?
Well,
Everything less 51,
would it be the difference?
23,
So you did 60,000.
2353.
So the actual,
I'd have to go through each line to see
yeah,
where we, it would take me about 45 minutes to tell you how it was.
You better get going.
Not kidding.
So,
In my office.
it was,
it's
I
gonna
mean,
be
it
like
occurs to me that
22,000.
with this, the unknown or other, as it's referenced in this line, it's gonna be less. Right, it's going to be less than it was last year, because we're not gonna have any of that oh no with engine two, because we got the oh no with engine two right up front. Right, so, I mean, is it not reasonable to think it's gonna be less?
Yeah, I would hope so. But engine three.
Engine
still
3 is
is,
Band-Aids and
everything is going wrong with engine three right now.
The other one in duct tape.
Wanna sell it for $5,000 like you did engine one?
We're getting 15 grand for that.
Oh. I was hoping for a deal. The engine got one. I'd like to have one.
Bill's getting rid of one, the yellow one.
Hill has a yellow fire truck?
Yeah, they bought a used city
Where'd they
truck.
get it from?
It's a rear pump, and they have like maybe 12 hydrants in town, and they have to back up to, because the pump's in the back, so they have to back up to every water source. They hate it, so they're getting rid of it.
That must be awful for the 3 or 4 times a year they use it.
Right,
All right, what do you want to do with vehicle repairs?
especially without a backup camera.
I move to accept the 51,307 total vehicle repairs.
Second.
You have a motion and a second, $51,307 for total vehicle repairs. Any more discussion?
So, even if everything that happened to engine 3 happened again this year, I don't see you needing that much money.
There'll be some other up-and-comers in the fleet.
We talked about 9,000 from what we appropriated in 21, rather.
9,000?
Right, the 2021 appropriated column is 60 that we had last year, and this year, Commissioner in Chief is only asking for 51, so we're we're that hopeful that it's gonna be $9,000 different.
Yeah, 8,700.
Okay. Any more discussion? Hearing none? All those in favor of the motion on the table for $51,307 for total vehicle repairs, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Abstentions? So next year, could you provide us with a breakdown of vehicle repairs, other?
It doesn't,
Won't let you do it that way in the cell. If you can, this cell can be split between PM and all.
Well, if you have to use any of the 25,000,
I see, I understand what he's saying, I think
They're
that would
gonna-
probably be the clearest, the way of doing it.
We'll make lines of each section, and just put a story. What each-
So out of that 23,904, it looks like you spent almost 23,000 of it so far.
yeah. But it was noted that without the big problematic vehicle, maybe should be spending less. All right, page 9, books and periodicals.
What did you decide to do on
Because of this.
this? Okay.
Say what?
Since I missed what you did with it, I asked what we did with it.
Oh,
Thank you. Got it, thanks. Books and periodicals.
books and periodicals?
I'm going to accept $111.
Second.
Third.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Department awards.
COVID canceled it again this year.
So that was that 2 years in a row?
Yeah.
Postage went up because you had to keep mailing out, invite, uninvite, invite, uninvite.
Come join us. No, stay away. Come join us. No, stay away.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's virtual.
So, did the money get spent on the awards even though there was no big presentation?
No, all that was spent was $33 for postage.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason, I'm not gonna say that. I don't jinx it.
Was this including dinner or something?
That was,
yes, it's going to.
That was included.
It's a good time, Charlie.
Yeah,
Show up next time, will you?
yeah, well,
Is that Lockman?
dinner and drinks.
Is there a restaurant there?
Well, drinks are on you, but.
Well, they
Green side?
have,
Green side isn't open,
the
but
green side's closed, but they still have
they use the function room.
Function
Very
room,
nice.
yeah.
and the bar.
And bar.
I'm gonna move 680 at $3,000.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion on the table, please signify by saying aye. All right. I have to leave in 5 minutes.
Second.
So, all
If you guys want to carry
Are
on.
you the chair? All you gotta do is
Yes.
say adjourn and we all go home.
Yeah.
Just
I
like
was
that.
being nice, I said, if you guys want to carry on,
No.
you're vice chair.
Okay, so if you're going to adjourn, before you leave, can we at least look at our next meeting?
We had so much fun with that part last time.
Well, you had me confused. It's like, oh.
I kept, yeah, the phone was blowing up. Please inform when you can attend the 15th, the meeting on the 15th.
Well,
Not
you know.
if you can attend, it was when you can attend. Oh, okay,
Can you
like
attend?
noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock?
Sorry,
No,
I'll get it right this time.
I wasn't sure what was At first, I said, oh, okay, that's an if.
And me, I looked at it quick and just thought, oh, they went to Wednesday.
So, the next 2 weeks are Christmas and New Year's. So, I'm assuming you won't want to do again until January, but that's gonna put a real tight crunch on.
Well, we have,
We're gonna have to finish.
yeah, so next week is Christmas Eve, right?
Yes, and the week after that is New Year's Eve.
That's if we go Friday, but if we go Wednesday, it's not.
What, on the 29th?
No, next week Wednesday.
22nd, we have a building committee meeting.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, what?
Oh, no, they canceled it,
Oh,
right? You aren't meeting on the 22nd, the building committee.
Well, no,
I don't know, are you or aren't you?
Well, at the last, at the
I thought
commissioners
that we
meeting.
moved it to the 20.
I don't, you know what, I don't think.
I don't
I
think
think
you
you
guys,
canceled it.
you weren't gonna meet on the 22nd.
I'll just give Kevin a call and find out.
That would be the Albany, you said?
You would,
If we meet next Wednesday, we really have very little left to do to approve this budget.
yeah, and then we
We
can
gotta
come.
deal with some lawnmower.
I know,
And
And-
apparatus equipment,
right, and that should go quickly,
it should.
hopefully. Please,
Is there all more in there?
no.
Oh, the damn back launcher, so.
Oh,
And then all that'll be
Donate
left
that.
after that is just the warrant articles,
yeah,
on whether you weigh in, you know, how you weigh in on those.
yeah, we can schedule a public meeting. We already scheduled it tentatively.
Right.
What is it?
I don't remember.
Oh, the 4th.
The 4th of February.
February
tentatively.
4th.
But we need to get this finished so
We-
that I can, you know,
We should get it finished.
so what are you thinking?
So what do you think, next Wednesday?
Yeah.
Or we could do the Wednesday after.
I'd rather get it on the books for next week and.
Do the 22nd?
And see if the weather cooperates, great, but, you know.
22nd, is everybody good with that?
Yep. 5 o'clock here,
Pardon?
5 o'clock here.
Kevin, are you still hosting?
I can't find my calendar.
Okay, you got 1 minute.
So, I have a building committee meeting on the 22nd, in my calendar. That's
Yeah,
not,
it's not happening though.
not
It
happening.
was my understanding that it wasn't happening.
Okay, so then we can do that.
We can do that.
We can do that here.
All right.
Okay. All right. And you'll send us some reminders and
I will send
Minutes.
reminders, I will
redo them, send the minutes.
resend the minutes. Do you want hard copies or do you want just emails?
Just
Just email, okay.
You better bring one hard copy with you. Just,
Just so Kevin switch
all right.
building.
Is that it? Are we good? Anything else?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Well, cool. All those in favor, motion to adjourn? All right. It was interesting. Motion to adjourn is not in favor. Why did you vote on it?
Don't even need
Because
it.
what if the majority votes no?
Then you don't adjourn.
Just saying.
I don't need to know if you need a motion to adjourn, I think the chairman can just say.
Maybe we will.
That's it.
There is a process that the chairman can do to adjourn the meeting without going through that. I forget what it's called.
It's called adjourn.
I didn't hit anything.
But you're right.
Is it the red one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Specific.
Blue
wire, green wire.
Blue wire.
Oh, you got something?
Kevin.